What is going on, y'all? Jason over here at Cog Hill Farm, and this is a video, y'all, I have been biting at the bit to make because I just can't wait to show y'all the farm right now. I decided to do these little tour videos as the seasons change throughout the year because the farm just changes so much from season to season. I did one in the fall, but y'all, this is a spring one, and I'm telling y'all, I cannot wait to show y'all what is going on here on the farm and in the gardens in the spring. And I just had to start this tour right here. This is probably my favorite spot on the entire farm. This is what I call the Alabama parterre garden, and it is really showing out this year. This is year 2 of this little garden here. I think next year it's really gonna go nuts. But I want to show y'all, or start right here, because it is just absolutely gorgeous. So let's start the tour here, and I hope y'all enjoy this, and y'all come on. I mean, right off the bat, y'all can probably see that it's really green, and the rose swag is starting to show out. It's getting bigger and taller, and this area is just so peaceful. It overlooks the fruit orchard, which I'm fixing to show you guys next. I love this, love this, love this. Me and Brooke have gotten where we come out here at night under the lights, because we got the string lights going on, and just sit out here, and we're really the only sound we're hearing right now are the whippoorwills. We were having a lot of frogs, but that's kind of died down. So it's just whippoorwills out in the woods, and it's just so peaceful. But first, I want to show y'all this right here. This is the beautiful arbor that Roberto built me here. That's the entranceway into the Alabama parterre garden. And of course, y'all can see the 3 squares of grass, and then all surrounded by the gravel. But here on the arbor, we have planted actually 2 roses here. Now, we planted this one early fall, so you can see the size difference. So this one right here is doing great. This is a rose called Lamarck. It has bloomed once. It is a white rose. Beautiful rose. Smells unbelievable. You can see we got some blooms here with it. And this rose here we're going to train to grow over this arbor here. And the same with this one. This is a Lamarck too. So, oh, look at here, y'all. Y'all can kind of get a glimpse of the blooms right there. But this Lamarck rose is going to cover this arbor for me. And I asked Jason about adding another rose here. Instead of having a Lamarck cover the arbor and this fence, could I put something different on this fence? And he said absolutely. So what we went with here is one called Juan de Spray. This is a cousin to the Lamarck rose. Again, a beautiful rose. And both these roses smell phenomenal. But these guys will be the showstopper, the centerpiece into the Alabama parterre garden at some point. Probably next year we're going to get a pretty good little show. Also, I got a salvia planted here. I had one left over from this area over here that we just recently planted. I'm going to put another salvia over here, and I plan on putting some type of perennial in the corners of this area here. Maybe some catmint. Don't quite know. Maybe some more salvias, but I'll figure something else to go in that area. But we're walking inside the parterre garden, which is, of course, right beside our house over here. This is our side porch. And if you turn and face this way, this is the showstopper. Of course, you got our rose swag that's finally, this is the first year's bloom. This is year 2. You can see how much this rose has grown in 2 years. But I'm thinking this time next year, y'all, this rose is going to start on this swag. These will probably be at the top. Next year, the rose swag is really going to be extraordinary. Now, this is the area we just planted, so there's really not much going on here except this salvia. Y'all, look how much this salvia has just grown. And I mean, I'm just in awe at the beautiful salvia, which is also a great companion planting for your roses. And if you don't remember, this rose is called American Pillar, and it is a springtime bloomer, and it is a vigorous, just vigorous rambling rose, and that's why it does so well on big structures like we got here on this rose swag. Now, I did have some issues with white powdery mildew, but I've been treating the rose, and that's how come some of my blooms are kind of faded like that. Next year, I'll start my neem oil spraying a little bit earlier, but it's still, even with white powdery mildew issue, it's still just gorgeous. But I'm sure y'all all saw this right off the bat. This right here is my rose hillside, or my hillside roses as I like to call it. These are only 2 years old, and these were in 1 gallons when I planted them. And look at the size of these roses, or rose bushes. 1 gallons when I planted them, y'all, and look, absolutely gorgeous. This is a rose called a drift rose. That's the type of rose it is, and the color is called blush. I actually planted, I can't remember how many this was. I think this was 32 when we originally planted, but we came back because I wanted this to fill this hillside on up, and even the ones we just planted are blooming. So we planted like 11 or 12 more, so we got close to 40 roses in here. And y'all, honestly, I'm thinking about continuing this rose hillside on around the side of this garden here. I really am. I do absolutely nothing to these roses except I do cut them back in the spring, or early, I should take that back, late winter in February. I cut these guys back by 1/3 or half of their new growth, and look at them. Isn't that awesome? Unbelievable. I love this area right here. Love it. 2 years old, and look at these guys. I think they're going to fill this whole hillside up, and you're not even going to be able to see any pine straws at one point. Now, I do have some plans extra to go in here on this back side. I got this little gap right here, and I'm thinking about growing a shrub style rose in here. And I don't know which one it is, but it'll probably be the fall. But something that probably gets 4 foot tall, give or take, just to fill in this little area right here. I thought about planting these guys, but I think I want to switch it up and maybe plant a white rose right through here. But I don't know. I'll figure that out. I'll get with my mentors, and that is Tracy over there at Just Dig It Farm and Jason over there at Petals from the Past, and ask them what they think about that. And if you guys remember, we just planted this area right through here with, of course, the salvia, native blueberry bushes, and a mum called Ryan's Pink. But I'm thinking about putting something else in here, maybe right in here. I don't know, I'm thinking about some catmint because I want that purple. I want some different coloration. So I'm thinking about putting catmint in here, which is purple. And I'm thinking about putting some blue salvia in this area as well to complement the different shades of pinks that we have going on here. So we're walking towards the back of this garden, and you can see our rose swag turns right here, and it's going to continue on over this way into the future potager garden or kitchen garden, which will be this area right here. Now, this got put on hold for several reasons, but we will get back on this once we get finished with the pastures. That will be the next big project that we'll tackle. But you can see I got this fence back here in front of the rose swag, and I have this magnificent multi-petal bloom. This is called Zephyrin Druin. This variety is actually what they consider a thornless rose because you can see there's no thorns here, but it does have some around the little smaller stems, but y'all, they are just so small and soft that you don't even notice them. But this rose has one of the most unique smells to it, and it is just unreal. Love this rose. I'm going to have to trim this one up. I'm kind of letting it get a little bit crazy. We want those horizontal shoots like this, because when your rose starts growing horizontal on your climbers and your ramblers, that's when you get your blooms. This is going to shoot out your bloom shoots. And this rose is just a year old. So I'm going to show you my climbing pinky and how it's trained and how it gives you those unbelievable shoots coming off that horizontal branch. And I'll show you that later in the tour. And that's how we're growing the American pillars on the swag too. You can see I got this growing and I'm twisting it around and I'm making it stay as horizontal as possible, climbing on up. And you can see all of the shoots coming off right here. That's where my blooms are coming from the horizontal shoots. If I was just to train this thing straight up, it wouldn't give us this much, or wouldn't give us this big of a show. I mean, look at this. So always remember that on your climbers and your ramblers, you want to try to get that thing horizontal as soon as you can. And you can see that's what we're doing here on this fence. I'm gonna definitely have to do some trimming on this one. Definitely do some trimming on this one. Now back behind here, the back edge of the parterre garden, this is where we have our black knight butterfly bush back here, and it'll get pretty big, and this will be a purple backdrop for the pink roses. And I think that's all pretty much we're going to put in here. I don't think I'm going to do anything different because this variety here will get fairly large. Now I've had a lot of y'all tell me that this is an invasive species. It may be in certain areas, but I've talked to Tracy and I've talked to Jason about it. I've never heard anybody here in our area say anything negative about a butterfly bush. As a matter of fact, I have grown butterfly bushes for over 20 years and I've never had one single issue with a butterfly bush. Now I know that they're growing varieties now that are not invasive, but y'all, I've never seen any issues of my butterfly bushes spreading whatsoever. So it may be the area that certain people live in that may be an invasive species. So always double check that with your nursery. So I have shown you guys my favorite part here on the farm, but I got to show y'all my second love, and that is the fruit orchard. We're going to walk out of the garden here. The fruit orchard's really coming into its own. It really is. So, as most of y'all know, but if you do not know, my fruit orchard is on a trellis system. Almost everything here is trellised for various reasons. As you guys can see right now, we got pretty good winds today. We're in a very windy area, especially for Alabama, or especially for central Alabama, I should say. So, growing on the trellis like this does several things for us. And mainly is because of the wind. I won't lose that many fruit because of wind, but for other reasons as well. Easy to harvest the fruit, easy to find any issues with a fruit tree because I can see and get all up in there. I don't have to worry about climbing any ladders, and the first row is our pear row. It's really, you can really start to see how it's growing here. I got one main trunk line that goes up here, and I got 3 wires. So I got 2 branches going this way, 2 branches going this way, and 2 branches going that way. Now we are growing 2 different types of pears. Well, I take that back. I'm growing Asian pears and European pears, but different varieties of each. This one right here is Shinko, which is the Asian pear, which is one of my favorites. Asian pear is almost like a cross between an apple and a pear. If you've never grown Asian pears or never tried an Asian pear, give it a try. Delicious. What's good about Asian pears is they don't turn brown when you cut them. They'll stay that pretty color for a good little minute. So they're great in salads and just cut up fresh on a platter. Love Asian pears. But our first row is pears. This is Shinko. My next one here is Hatsui. Now you can see this one's a good bit smaller. That's because I lost this pear last year to fire blight. But that was a rookie mistake on my part. Now I know what to look for. Now I know how to treat it. And so far this year, I've been okay. My next one is called Korean Giant. This is a massive pear. Oh, I meant to show y'all. We got lots of pears too on here. Lots of pears on our pear trees. Next up, well, I call this the pear row. It's not all pears. These are our Asian persimmons. This one's called Fuyu, and I'm growing it the same way, and it's got loads of blooms on it. They're green, so it's really hard to see them right there, but loaded with blooms. The same with this one. This is also Fuyu, and let's see here if we can see the blooms. They're really hard to see, y'all. Here we go. Look at there. You can really see them there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful tree. And then here comes our European pears. I got Warren and I got Moonglow. And I got a spot for one down the road. So if there's something that is recommended to me, or if there's something that I find that I would want, I would go after it. But these guys are only a year old here. So it'll probably be next year before we'll see any fruit on them. Now if I turn this way, that is a crab apple. Now that will be a producing crab apple in the next few years that will produce large crab apples that we can use for jellies. And I love to eat crab apples. I love the tartness of them. But if we come this way, this is our apple row. Now apples are generally hard for us to grow here in Alabama because we don't get enough chill hours, or especially central and lower Alabama. But there are varieties that we can grow. Now, I have to go back and look at my book that I got them written in because I can't remember all of them exactly. Or I can remember all of them I planted, I just can't remember which one's which. I do know this one is Cumberland Spur. Now, reason why I know this one, this is the only patented Alabama apple there is. So this variety is or was established here in Alabama or created here in Alabama, and it's called Cumberland Spur. Beautiful apple. And let me tell y'all, I planted this apple in the fall, and look how huge it is. So it definitely loves this Alabama weather. And we have apples. Look at here. We're coming on down. You can see we are just loaded with apples. I'm going to come through here and thin a lot of these guys out because I would like to have some large apples. If I leave them like this, they'll just stay small and you'll get more apples. So I think I'm going to come through and just thin a lot of these guys out. But you can see we're just covered in apples. And of course you can see how I'm growing it. I got the 2 branches this way, 2 branches that way, and 2 branches that way. Now I really don't like for these limbs to go too much taller than this, so I'll cut that off. And I don't like this to get too tall, and I'll come back and I'll keep that low as well, because I don't want to have to come out here with a ladder and harvest any fruit. But y'all can see our apples are just thriving, y'all. This is Arkansas Black. This is one I'm extremely excited about. I planted it last year as well, so probably not gonna get any fruit off it until next year. But I got Gala, I got Golden Delicious, and I got Fuji. And I don't know which one of these guys are which, but y'all can see our apple trees are doing just phenomenal here on the farm. Especially this one. This one is just absolutely thriving right here. Coming on around to the next row, this is our fig row here. Figs are a staple here in the South. Almost everybody's grandmother had a fig tree. More likely had a brown turkey fig or the Celeste. And we climbed in those trees as kids. We picked the fruit. Our grandparents made jams and jellies out of them. Just a big part of my childhood are figs, and I love them so much. We actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fig trees this year. That first cold snap didn't get the figs. They were actually up, and we're putting on new growth on the old growth from last year. But the second freeze got them, so I cut all that out. But look at the new growth. Figs are absolutely vigorous here in the South. This thing will be this tall in a few months. These are the LSU varieties, LSU purple, LSU gold, LSU black. This one I thought I lost right here, which was another LSU variety. And look, there it is. So it's going to come back. And then this one is O'Rourke, which is the improved Celeste. This is Green Ischia, which is my favorite fig. And you can see this one didn't die all the way back like the other ones did. This one was gifted to me several years ago. The other day, I thought this one was gone, and I had contacted somebody about replacing it. But look, there's a little bit of green growth right there. So this fig is still alive. I may repot this fig and get it back to health and plant something else here. And then when I get this thing going, replant it. I'm thinking that's what I'm gonna do. And then I got Alma, and then I think that's Papa John. So this is my fig row. But let's step on down to the next row, and these are our blueberries. Now I lost several blueberries last year in the hard freeze we had. So the smaller ones you see are the ones we replanted, but the larger ones you're seeing are ones that did not die back and came back. And you can see we have loads and loads of blueberries. Now, this is something that I've been anticipating is the blueberries, is because blueberries love acidic soil. And guess what I have here? Extremely acidic soil. I'm sure you guys have seen me when I plant plants other than blueberries. I add lime to the holes or around the plants because our soil is so acidic. So I'm trying to bring that pH down and trying to level it out. But blueberries, on the other hand, just absolutely thrive in that acidic soil. And I'm starting to see that with my own eyes. Y'all look at these that didn't die back from last year. Look at this blueberry bush, y'all. Could there be another blueberry on this thing? Look at this. This blueberry bush is basically one full year old right here. Look at that. Unbelievable. And the same with this one right here. Unreal at the blueberries. And I got several varieties growing. Now this is the one I planted in the fall. Again, I'd have to go back and look at my notes, but Jason from Petals set it up where I'm going to have blueberries for an extended season because different varieties produce blueberries at different times. So I'll have a early crop, a mid crop, and a late crop with our blueberries once they're established and going good. Next up, y'all probably can see it and y'all have seen me do this and talk about it before, but this is our blackberries. This is a type of blackberry called Kiowa. They produce this huge blackberry. This is Petals from the Past favorite blackberry. Jason's dad over there, Dr. Powell at Petals from the Past, came up with this trellis system for blackberries. And I know y'all guys have seen me talk about it before, but in case you haven't, I cut everything out of the blackberry except 2 canes. And then I split these 2 canes off on a lower wire and on a top wire, and that's what you see here. And what this does is that it focuses all of this blackberry energy onto these few canes to produce berries. And let me tell y'all, and y'all can see, it's going to produce the blackberries. And look how easy it is, because this Kiowa blackberry, it got some massive thorns. So look how easy it is for me to harvest all my blackberries. It's really the only way that I'll grow them from now on. They want a honeybee. Now we're about to get to the part of the fruit orchard where I have not completed everything yet. And this is going to be done this year at some point. This is my other type of blackberry. This is a thornless variety called Natchez, and I'm going to grow it the same way that I'm growing this one. But for now, I'm just keeping it cut back out of the rows or out of the pathways here and just letting it do its thing. And you're about to see that I need trellises for 4 more rows here. The next row here, these are our muscadine rows. If you don't know what a muscadine is, that is a native grape to the south, also known as scuppernons. Scuppernong and muscadines are the same thing. All scuppernons are muscadines. Just like all azaleas are rhododendrons. And they come in 2 different colors, purple and gold. And I got several varieties planted here, and I got to get these guys up. I'll do the same thing with these as I do almost everything else with the vines. I'll trim everything out except 2 main trunk lines, and we'll grow these on a wire similar to everything else you see here. But muscadines are absolutely delicious, very sweet, huge, love. You can actually see the wild muscadines in our area, just growing random in the woods. A common staple here in the South. Again, this is similar to fig trees. My granddaddy and almost everybody's grandparents had a muscadine vine growing somewhere, and muscadine jelly was very popular back in the day. And I hope to make my own again. That's what I'm hoping. Plus, if I ever find it somewhere like of a show or a festival and it's homemade muscadine jelly, I always buy it. Love it. But these again, this is another muscadine row here. And right here, this is my table grapes. These are, besides this one, that one, and that one, and that one are a seedless variety that Jason from Petals recommended to me. This one has a special place in my heart because this is an Alabama grape. This one's called Foxy Lottie, and that's it down yonder too, because I had one grape here that didn't make it past the hard freeze, so I replaced it with Foxy Lottie. Foxy Lottie is an Alabama grape that was found in Tuskegee, Alabama several years ago. And they really do not know how it came about. This is what they think, because we cannot grow Concord grapes here, or can't grow them well here, because we don't get enough chill hours. They're thinking that Foxy Lottie here, and it's named after the lady that house they found it at. They found it at a house in Tuskegee, Alabama. So it's named after her. They think that somebody was eating a Concord grape and spit the seed out, and this grape adapted to the climate here in Alabama. And so that's the story behind it. But very similar to the Concord grape. But again, we struggle with Concord grapes here because we don't get enough chill hours. So Foxy Lottie, and you can see she don't struggle at all, and loaded down. Look at this, just loaded with grapes, or bunching grapes. You can always call these bunching grapes instead of table grapes. Next row here, y'all, this is my kiwi. We can grow kiwi here in Alabama, or central Alabama. This one's called Isaiah. What's special about this one, this is a self-fruiting variety, so I don't have to have a male and female variety of kiwi, which normally you do. So this guy needs a trellis system soon, because it's about to take off, and kiwi vines get humongous. And this is a small kiwi, it's not a big kiwi, and it's not fuzzy. So you can just pop it in your mouth and eat it like a snack without cutting it up or peeling it or anything. And I just have to show you guys, looking back at the hillside roses. It's just beautiful. And can't you just picture the rose swag full and coming down through there? So we're gonna walk to the front of the property. This is the front of the, or this is the first row of the fruit orchard. We're gonna walk this way, and this over here is our apiary, or our bee yard. So let's go check those guys out and check our pecan trees as well and see what's going on over there. Now, if we look to the left, this right here is the aviary, not the apiary, but the aviary. This is where the Victorian crown pigeons live, Mary Carl's pigeons live. This is actually Mary Carl's area. That's why we really don't show it that much. It's like her little personal area. We always ask her, you know, can we video over here? And, you know, she's really become private as she's hit these teenage years, and me and Brooke absolutely respect that out of her. And so therefore we do not want to we don't want to break that trust. So that's how come you don't see this. She takes care of this area for the most part over here. You know, we do help out when we need to, but this is Mary Carl's little area over here. Now you can see I'm walking towards the bees. Now this whole backside right here is the backside of all the pastures that you see where Gus and Loretta live, and Moody and the boys live, and you'll see that as we make this turn. But the bees are right here. And to be honest, y'all, I'm not gonna get super close to them. And they're blowing and going. There's so much. I mean, they're in full swing right now, but you can see they are hard at it. We're probably fixing to put more honey supers on, because there's so much out there for them right now. We've let all the clover and wildflowers pretty much stay around this year, and believe it or not, bees absolutely love this thing over here that I cuss a lot, and that is Chinese privet. You can see it over there. Invasive species from China, but the honeybees love it. And we got plenty of it. Oh, we do plan to add a few more hives to the apiary over here. And we do plan on doing some other things over here. And let me show y'all. So I'm kind of walking past the bees. So this whole area here, right here, we've already done it. We've already planted 2 of them. But I would love for this to be a pecan orchard. Now, pecan trees or something that will be an investment over time. They're not going to be like the apple trees or the pear trees that in 3 years we can start producing fruit. Pecan trees are going to take around 10 years, and that's the new hybrids that that they got out now. The old ones will be even longer than that, but you can see we got, well, you really can't see them. I'll come over here and show y'all. Now this is the hive that, and it's blowing and going too. I see bees just going in and out. That was the one that swarmed on us. So we got that new hive there, and look at it. Y'all can see that that hive is thriving. Those bees are busy, 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 busy. But if you look right here, I got 1 pecan tree here. Now these were gifted to us by a fan of the channel several years ago, and I babied them until I got the perfect spot that I wanted to plant them. But I got 1 here, and I got another one down there. But I want to probably plant 6 more in this area at some point. Plus, this area here will probably be not open to the animals. Maybe we may have more bees over here and more pecan trees over here. That's the plan, because we're going to move the guys that's in here, and this is kind of the backside of Moody and the boys' pasture right here. When we do hay day, this is where we always come in. You can see Moody and the boys' hay bale right there. And this is the pigeon area. This is Mary Carl's area. And if you look right here, this is where the honeymooners are. As a matter of fact, they're asleep in their porta hut right there. And that was the pasture that the honeymooners were in. Okay, so now we're going to walk back towards the house, back towards the fruit orchard, and then we're going to make a turn, and I'm going to show y'all what's happening over in that area. All right, so the bees are over there. I just turned the corner, and I wanted to show you guys this one thing right here, because this is new. This is called a winter honeysuckle right here. It will bloom in February, and it smells absolutely amazing. It's a bush, it's not a vine. When you think of a honeysuckle, most of the time we think of vines. But this is more or less like a bush or a huge shrub. It'll get massive. It'll get really, 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 really big. What's amazing about this plant is that in February, there's not much for the bees to eat or get nectar and pollen from. But this, they can. There'll be thousands of bees or hundreds of bees all over this plant when it's blooming. So we're walking towards, you can see we got the house over here to the left. Got Mr. Beautiful Scott over here to the right. What's going on, Scott? Hey, buddy. Giving everybody a tour of the farm here in the spring, since it's so beautiful out here. And if we were to keep going straight, y'all, we would go straight into the pond. As a matter of fact, let's just go over to the pond before we hook a right. You can see I'm crossing the driveway, and there is the pond. And I got something to show you guys in the pond. Besides our wonderful geese and our 2 little goslings down there, y'all look at this. We got baby ducklings in this pond. Look at there. So some of the ducks have had babies and brought them down to the pond. And oh my gracious. And there are the goslings right there, enjoying the pond. Y'all can see that the geese and the ducks are really, 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 really loving the pond. So we're going to head back this way, and I'll show you guys the trees that we just recently planted. We got the crabapple tree right here, out front here. You can see there's the house right there. This crabapple tree, look how much growth they put on. And again, this will be another beautiful shade tree, and this will have seasons of interest, especially in the spring. This is going to give us that beautiful spring interest with those beautiful white blooms it puts on. And y'all, it's already got some berries on it, or some apples. And then we have our Chinese pistache tree. Look how different they look now. They got green on them, some limbs popping out. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful shade tree. that doesn't get super huge. It'll get about 30 foot tall, 20 foot wide. It's got 4 seasons of interest from spring all the way to winter, but it really puts its show out in the fall where it turns this fire red with mixing colors of orange and yellow and green. Gorgeous, gorgeous shade tree. And of course, y'all know the honeymooners. This is their spot right here. This is our Cooney pigs, Gus and Loretta. This is their area. And y'all, I don't know if you guys can notice it or not. Do y'all remember what this pasture looked like before we put them in there? Look how much grass those 2 pigs have eaten. Absolutely remarkable. You can see this area here. That's what the whole pasture did look like. It was pretty tall. Pretty daggum tall. And this is the pasture that they were in. And look how green it's getting right there. Then, of course, these handsome gentlemen over here do not need any introduction. This is Moody and the boys. Here comes Big Mo. There's Big Joe, Moody's mini-me. They're all going to come over here and visit us. Hey, buddy, what's going on, Mo? Giving everybody a tour of the farm here in the spring. It's so green and everything's alive and vibrant. Yeah. What's going on, Joe? Oh, crazy Joe. What's going on, buddy? Yeah, look how clean Joe is when he's not in rut. Doesn't stink. You look beautiful. Or handsome, I should say. Yep. Of course you do, buddy. What's going on, Big Moo? What's going on, Big Moo? All right, I'm going to finish the tour up, okay? You guys be good. You guys be good. Yeah. Goodness. So if we head towards the front, this is the front of the property. Of course, there's our pump house. And here is Cheese and the hens and Big Ryan and Mac. This is everybody over here in the portable chicken coop. And this is our main garden area right now. This is also where our first Grower Solution greenhouse is located. And Miss Climbing Pinky, which we're fixing to show y'all here in just a minute. We'll be soon pulling this tarp back right here, which is right here by, you can see Moody and the boys, the house, the eggmobile. We'll be pulling this tarp back pretty soon and planting purple hull peas in there directly. This is what's left of the fall garden right here. We got everything kind of pushed down. We still got calendulas blooming. Gonna give Miss Laura some. G&G Farmers came and got her some. I think Tanya, our other beekeeper, she's came and got her some. And they're still producing like crazy. So we're gonna come in here, we're gonna cut all this down, chop it up. We're gonna leave this row of calendula for the time being. And I'm gonna till this up. Then I'm gonna tarp it. And probably in a month or so, we'll pull it back. And we'll probably plant some flowers in here or a summer cover crop. This is where our summer garden is planted. You guys saw us plant that. That is our squash, our tomatoes. We got some herbs. We got basil out here. We got an array of flowers out here. We still got a few more things to plant, and I'll get into that with you guys in just a minute. But this is Climbing Pinky. This is the perfect example of horizontal branches producing blooms. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's probably at least 6, maybe even more than that, maybe 10 horizontal branches going this way. And what I do is just when one comes up out of the ground, I start training it. And then another one, I train it, another one, I train it, and then everything else I cut out. So when it's not blooming like this, it looks kind of weird because all you see is these horizontal branches growing. But when it goes into bloom, and this Climbing Pinky is my first rose to bloom and is my last rose to bloom. This thing will bloom on in December. Beautiful rose, thornless rose, Climbing Pinky. And that is the actual name of it, Climbing Pinky. I think some people get confused when I say that. They think that I'm just generalization or what, just saying this is a Climbing Pink rose. The name of the rose is Climbing Pinky. And it is a showstopper. And if you're a first-time rose grower and want to grow a climbing rose, I suggest this one because it is very, very easy. It doesn't get much disease, and it is thornless. It smells phenomenal, and y'all can see the blooms. unbelievable. I mean, this thing has got more blooms than you can shake a stick at. And it's gonna do this all year long. She is a repeat bloomer. You can see one of my horizontals right here. Climbing pinky. I wish y'all could smell it right now, especially with that wind blowing. Oh my gracious. Like I said, this is our summer garden, and so this will be too. We're going to plant pole beans in this one very soon. We're going to plant watermelons in this one very soon. Bush beans in this one very soon. And I plan to plant some more flowers as companion planting, maybe some herbs like basil, some barge, I almost said that wrong, in this area as well. And if you turn this way, this is our tillage radishes. Can y'all believe that, honestly? I don't know if you can really tell on camera how massive this is. I think what I'll do is I'm just gonna walk in here so you guys can probably get a better perspective. And the bees, there's honeybees everywhere in here. But y'all probably can get a better perspective now at the size of this cover crop. Unbelievable, y'all. Look at this. I mean, seriously. But at some point, I think this will eventually just bloom out, because when it gets really, really hot, I don't think it's going to last. And we'll have to chop it, drop it, and till it up, and tarp it, and get ready for some more plantings for the summer. And y'all, this is one thing that I love about our bees and what we're doing here on our farm. Our honey, look at the diversity. I got all of the native wildflowers in bloom. We haven't cut those back. That's all the clover and the vinca and the phlox and the flax and the vetch and the stuff that we planted, like the cover crops like this tillage radishes, and how we let our fall garden go to flower with the greens all flowering, and the bees were so attracted to it. And then the stuff in bloom right now like the privet and the fruit orchard and all of our roses. So the pollen and the nectar that the bees are bringing in is so diverse, and I think it really does add a unique flavor. And talk about allergies. I mean, for the locals in this area, you know, they say 1 tablespoon a day will keep the allergies away. I absolutely can see that because of all the diversity around here. All right, we're going to head back this way out of the garden area, and we're going to go to the new barn area and show you guys what's going on over there. And that was a bee. But y'all, come on. I want to show you guys something real quick. Y'all know we just moved our chickens. This is our laying hens right here. We put them on fresh ground and rotate them all throughout our pastures. Now remember, this is where they were, and look at that. Y'all see that? Is that not unreal? What they're doing to our soil is just unreal. That was bare ground, almost bare ground when we moved them, and look at that. We thank you guys for everything that y'all do. Everything. All right, let's head on out of the garden area and go over to the barn area. Of course, this is right now pretty much Goldie's pasture. The geese come over here too. Nugget's still sitting on eggs. We're past the halfway point with him. The geese are pretty much done. We don't think any more of the geese are going to hatch. It would be an absolute miracle if that were to happen, but I just do not see that happening whatsoever. And if y'all look, y'all can see the crew down that way grazing, and looks like someone were playing just a minute ago. I see there's Aunt Jessie. Mildred's over here at the hay. I wonder where Honey Bunny's at. I gotta tell y'all, I'm fixing to show y'all Honey. I'm fixing to show y'all. Honey is, yeah, I just can't wait to show y'all Honey. All right, let's head on into the barn. All right, first stall over here, of course, is the Silkies right now. And as you guys know, they're gonna have a coop behind the house in the potager kitchen garden. That's where these guys are gonna stay once everything gets done and straightened out and we get to that point. But they're perfectly fine here. They got plenty of room. They can go outside. These guys are good to go. Of course, The next stall here, this is going to be Capri's birthing area. Let's see if Peaches is in here. Oh, there she is. Boss Lady taking her mid-afternoon nap. I don't blame you. Bossing ain't easy, is it, girl? It is not at all. Let's go see what the babies are doing. Y'all remember we moved the babies over here. Of course, there's our onions we harvested this year. Let's see. The babies get where they love to stay up under the hay rack. Hey, mama, how you doing, girl? Let's look, y'all look. They all tuckered out. Oh my goodness. Ain't they cute and sweet? Ain't much better than baby goats. Let's go out here. Let's go out the back. This is the back of the barn. We don't go out here much, but we have started working and planning out here. This is going to be the next fencing project, which we're going to do this week. This isn't an addition to. This is me and Brooke thinking and decided that we needed to add some more gates, and we really needed to fence the Moo Mansion off. And you may be wondering why. Well, y'all see that we have to fence it off when we put new hay in because the cows get frisky. We don't want anybody to get hurt. And so we want to be able to block them off from running into the tractor or whatever when we put hay out there. That's number one, like we're doing now. Number two, or we don't want none of them to get out. That's the other thing. Number two, this is where our head chute is. So let's say Moody needs his hoofs trimmed. Well, without no fence in here, we put Moody here, and y'all know how friendly Miss Mildred is. Who's to say Mildred's not going to come over here and aggravate and, I don't know, make Moody upset? Who knows? But I want to be able to, or if we got a sick, what if Moody's sick, or what if Mildred's sick? We don't want the other cow, or if we were to ever add any more cows, we don't want them interfering while the vet's over here working on them. So we're going to fence this off. So we just also decided that we needed to put a gate to get to this area back here behind the barn. Our original thoughts were that we could just drive through to get back here, but look what's happened. We got our camper in here, which we are going to move, and we got the Volkswagen bus in there, and it's blocking, so we can't get back here. And so the grass has gotten really tall, which is fine because the bees are loving it, and we just don't have any access back here. So we're going to put a gate to this area where we don't have to go through the barn. Then, of course, when we fence this area in, we're going to have a gate to it, so we're going to add 3 more gates. So that's coming up this week. I don't know how much of it we're going to get done, but we're going to knock that out first before we start pulling the barbed wire on that backside over there. Both of them have got to be done regardless. I see you, Big Top, in here, brown nosing the boss lady as usual. But hey, listen, I can't blame you, partner. I cannot blame you at all. Nope. That's a smart man. I'm telling you, that's a smart man right there. Hey, Capri. I know you don't have but probably a couple more weeks, but you hang in there, baby, okay? You hang in there. See old Skipper Tipper back there. What's up, Tip? What's going on, Mildred? Bootsy? Everybody. Hey, Mildred, don't you look beautiful in white? My gracious, did you have a bath? Have you had a bath, girl? Look at you. Goodness gracious, I'm gonna have to put my sunglasses back on looking at you. Yeah. All right, I got to show you guys honey. We have been gifted several brushes from y'all. Of course, these were the ones we were using, these 2 right here. And that red one was a gift from y'all. And then somebody gifted this metal curry comb right here. But here, recently, we've gotten 2 other combs. And I brush honey, I brush everybody, pretty much, except the goats. Goats don't really like it that much. But Honey, Mildred, Jessie, Peaches, they all love it. Every single day. And y'all look how much better Honey is looking. Her ankles are healed up. I got some boots on order. Got those coming. But Honey looks phenomenal, y'all. Look at her. Look how much better she looks. We're getting that old winter coat out, ain't we, girl? Yeah. Yeah, that old winter and baby coat's coming on out. So let me show y'all these 2 new brushes we got. And I love both of them. All right, this one come from across the pond. This one come from the UK. It's called Groomy. And thank you so much for sending us this one. Look at the teeth on this. It's really, really weird. But y'all, it does a phenomenal job. Really, really good job. It kind of cuts that hair out. And it doesn't pull. It doesn't snag. I love this brush. And you can see it. It gets it all right there. But it does an awesome job. I just had to show you how great Honey looks. I mean, she looks amazing. If I can do this without the camera getting knocked over. So the brushing has really, 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 really helped. Yeah. Let me show you the other one. And this one, a fan gave us at the meet and greet. And y'all, it does an amazing job too. I thought you knocked the camera over, baby. But y'all look how great she is looking. So good. When I first used both of these brushes, I got so much hair out of her. So much hair out of her. And you can see it's not that much coming out anymore. Jesse, you gonna brush Mildred? Well, like you're about to brush Mildred. She'd probably appreciate that. Yeah. And I've just been getting everybody. Y'all can see Jesse's got a really, really thick winter coat. You see that hair coming out? Look at that. It's just total different hair between Jesse and Honey. But I think because Honey still had baby hair. Jesse's over a year old now. Honey is not. Honey is just a baby. Yeah. Honey is just a baby, ain't she, Jesse? That's right. Honey's just a baby. Don't knock the camera over, Honey. All right, Mildred, I see you. I'm going to get you too. I got to get everybody up, so look at all that hair. Goodness. All right, Mildred, let's get you, girl. Come on. I got to get Mildred. Yeah. We're going to get Mildred. I think that's why you look so white, because I brush you just about every day, innit? You look beautiful. Yeah. You look beautiful. All right, Mildred. You look absolutely stunning, girl. Yeah, let's get your other side there. Let's get your other side. I gave everybody a tour today of the farm. Everything's so beautiful and green, and the roses are gorgeous. Yeah, everything looks beautiful. Can you believe it's only been 3 years and how great it looks? Isn't that something? Just think what in the next 3 years what it's gonna look like. Yeah. One day it might be as beautiful as you, Mildred. One day, right? Well, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed today's farm tour, and I hope y'all have the best day ever. And as always, y'all be good.